normal and very happy way is just kind of go back over the years and bring up a lot of the things that we've done together, heard of other people doing, and I'll tell you, my brothers and sisters and myself have been putting things on these little cards together for several months, and some of the things we bring up are going to be unknown to a lot of you, but some of them you'll remember. And I've talked to a few of you earlier today, and I've asked you to, if you think of something along the lines that we're talking about, please speak up and put your hand up, and I'll come over with this thing so everybody can hear you. I'd like to start out by saying this is a absolutely happy occasion, and that's the way we want to keep it. Naturally, today we are sorry that my Aunt Eleanor couldn't come from California. A little too hard to come. And of course, we miss the presence of the ones who are no longer with us. May, Helen, Isabel, Mike, and Lou. If they were here, it'd be an even better party. I'm going to start this thing off. My brothers and myself decided that we'd kind of do this in stages. I'm the oldest, so I'm going to start. And we're going to start back in, shortly after this wedding that we just attended today. And I mentioned to my dad, I was awful glad I could make it today. I missed the first one. And I was awful glad to come to this one. After the wedding, sometime after the wedding, I still don't remember because I wasn't there yet, Mom and Dad went to live in Westfield with Grandpa Morris and Dutch and Lou, and a lot of stories came out of Westfield. I can remember Grandpa Morris as a fairly old man with white hair, a handlebar mustache, and gosh, he always had one word that he used, woye. Woye. We heard woye all our lives. And of course, that was 13 Miller Street. Pardon me. Doug corrected me this morning. That's Potter Kane. Potter Kane. Potter Kane. Miller Street. Potter Kane. I don't speak Lithuanian, bro. Several things. A lifetime of things happened at 13 Miller Street. Some people tell me part of my affinity for boats in the sea was because my mother was pregnant with me when she had to evacuate the house during the Great Flood in 1938. So we left in a boat, and I've been going to sea ever since. As I say, a lot of things happened at 13 Miller Street. Champ. Where's my cousin Champ? Champ told me about a little thing this morning. I don't know how much wine I got here, Champ, with me. We got enough. Yeah, we'll be halfway. We'll be halfway. There you go.
Dick and I were talking earlier, and I can remember when I was a little guy going down to 13 Miller Street, and he had just bought me a brand new taco. They had this wood stove, I believe, in the kitchen. And all I could remember about Grandpa Morris was in the little bedroom off the kitchen. And, you know. So my father went in to see him, and Papa talked was waiting pretty good. And I was leaning against the stove, and I heard the little coat. I knew I was in trouble then. Well, anyway, when my father came out, then he went in. And all of a sudden, Betty's trying to talk to Lithuanian, and I hear his father say, Benny, for God's sake, speak English.
Okay. I don't want to shut 13 Miller Street off real quick. Does anybody have any other stories from 13 Miller Street that we'd like to hear? Doug, I knew he did.
Well, anyway, Benny was more or less the head of the household, and he just bought a brand new 1937 DeSoto, right? And he used to give me my allowance every week if I did little chores around the place and kept his car clean. So one day he says, wash my car under windows, he says, and I'll give you your 15 cents. Pretty good in those days, you know? So there he is mowing the lawn, and I washed the car, and I go to wash the windows. And I looked at him, and there was a crap game going on the next street, and I was dying to get to that crap game. He already paid me. So I did the back windows, the front windows, I rolled them all the way down. I opened the door, I just used it at distance. I said, hey, Ben, how do these look? Hey, they look good. They look good. I slammed it down to the crack in my door. I was just going to start shooting crap, and I feel this arm grab me. Get back here. That was it.
Okay, after the Westfield experience, we moved to where Dad was building our new house. The house he's still in on Lawrence Street. But the house wasn't ready yet when we moved over there, so we moved in with Grandpa Cavey and Nani. And there was a guy that lived upstairs that we never saw. I think most of us have heard of this guy all our lives. His name was Anthony. And Anthony was one of these guys that made discipline real easy for Mom and Dad. All he had to do was tell us that, boy, if you don't stay in line, Anthony's going to get you. You know, we never saw the guy because he didn't exist, obviously. But he did rule the roost, I'll guarantee you. He ruled the roost. After we finally moved out of there, and I don't remember the date, 1943, April 21st, March the 12th, not too bad. We moved across the street into what is now the living room in the house, and we called it Ward 8 because there was nothing in there but beds. The upstairs wasn't finished yet. It was cold out still, but it was a pretty warm house nonetheless. And there's a lot of things that used to happen around there. I can remember the stairs, front and back, that were still made out of wood, contractor-type stairs that Dad and our neighbor down the street, Jim Nash, had built, the guy that helped him build the house. And I can remember my brother Mike taking headers off of those stairs just about on a daily basis. You have never seen a kid so scarred up, beat up. These days, you'd say there was child abuse for sure. You know, I mean, the kid was a wreck. And Uncle Bill, where's Uncle Bill? Right here. Uncle Bill used to pick him up once in a while.
How do you know I didn't throw him down?
Okay, we had a lot of happy occasions at 86 Lawrence Street. We're still having them. Today's proof of that. Some of the pictures you see here, we missed one. There's a picture of a fruit and vegetable truck in the driveway, but that's the new one. You should have seen the old one. It had V&A Fruit and Produce stenciled on the side of it, and that stood for Vic and Andy, and that was Uncle Vic and his partner Andy, who used to own the business, and Dad bought it from him. That truck was the modern, or the age-old version of today's van, recreational vehicle, because in that truck we went to Look Park every Sunday of our lives, if I can remember. Some of the other things that we've been kicking around for the last, especially for the last couple of days, I haven't seen my brother Mike in almost 8 years, and Linda, it's been a couple of years. We got talking about some of the things that used to get done for us by Mom and Dad. Bedtime stories. How many people hear of bedtime stories anymore? We had them every night. We didn't have television, but we had bedtime stories. When we went skating in the wintertime, we'd come home and it was always towels on the radiators. Nice and hot to put those cold feet into. Things like Valentine's under the plates on Valentine's Day with red Jell-O. Never missed. Never missed. Some of the little duties that we used to have. I don't know how many remember the goat field, where it's all houses now, but we used to have to go from the house up across the Demas's store. Remember Demas's store? And we had expressions that probably never changed. Whenever Ma got upset with us, you were Joe Bean or some other name. We still hear Joe Bean once in a while. Bug eyes, things of that sort. But there was one thing she always used to say: if you don't get in the line, I'm gonna guzzle you. Ma, I think I'm awful glad I never found out what it meant to get guzzled. I don't know what it means, but it don't sound good. A lot about a dummy, a neighborhood dummy. It's not a person, but this thing was made up, I think, originally for the Bentleys who used to live next door to us. They went on vacation and they left their house unlocked, which we all did. We didn't lock houses 25 years ago. We just left them open. You go away for a week, no problem. Leave the house open. They need something, go in and get it, this sort of thing. Stuff you don't dare to do anymore. But we made this dummy up for George and Ethel anyway. When they came home, there the dummy was sitting in George's chair with a cigarette in his hands. And, the dummy was real popular. He made the rounds. I think that dummy spent some time in every house on Lawrence Street one time or another. I remember when Nani and Smalley came back to Canada, and it was always at 2 o'clock in the morning. The one time in particular, we covered the front steps with beer cans. I mean, covered it, at least 100. And the words that came out of that little Irish woman, and that was nothing compared to the scream that came out of her when she saw that dummy in her chair inside. And we had some other things little rules that we had. We were in bed before the streetlights came on. Remember that? I don't think it did us any harm. None of us have ended up in jail yet anyway. Let me see. And some expressions. Dad's got some expressions that are priceless. Everybody knows what a donkey is, right? What's a donkey? We've been called donkeys all our lives. I don't know what it is, but I can guess. And his favorite one, he still uses it all the time, and I love it. Just like New York. That means everything's perfect, right? When everything's perfect, it's just like New York. And Mom had little stuff that she used to tell us too. You gotta eat that supper. If you don't eat that supper, if you don't like it, go out on the back steps. You go out and sit on the back steps if you didn't like the supper, because this is not a restaurant. We got one meal. You don't like it, too bad. Bye. See you later. And the other one was, hey, eat it. If it kills you, we'll never feed it to you again. Now, that was good. And we talked about places like the Liberty Theater, a now defunct palace of amusement, that we used to go to for 16 cents all day, stay there all day on Saturday for 16 cents. If we got real wealthy, we had a quarter and we were able to get popcorn too. And some of the real good ones that have kept us away from the dentist, I think. Dad's favorite formula, I think it came from Grandpa Morris, and that was with the teeth care. Dental hygiene consisted of chewing on bones and scrubbing your teeth with Dr. Lyon's tooth powder. Hey, it must have worked. I know. Okay, I'm waxing into the young eloquent here, so I'm going to ask my brother Mike to come up and pick up from a few years farther down the road from where I've left off, and we'll see what else we can dredge up.
Well, I'm old Larry and Curly, but I'm glad that so many could come to this auspicious event on Hungry Hill called the Wedding Event. And as the weather cooperated, while we were planning the trip from St. Louis, I was expressing concern about the weather as we drove from Boston, and my 9-year-old son Casey made the observation that why didn't Grandpa and Grandma get married in June like everybody else? I didn't want to tell them they went to Maine on their honeymoon. Now, what do you do in Maine on your honeymoon? kielbasa. Who will ever forget wonky? By the way, our kids will never know these things. How about Cucamonga wine vinegar? I was 25 years old before I knew there was any other salad dressing. Then, of course, there was stew. And then there was stew. And finally, there was stew. This memory burns bright every time my wife Sharon makes pot pies for dinner. My parents encouraged us to go to cultural places. Hogan's Pond. Mrs. Bentley's grape arbor. Mr. Cadetti's garden. Usually visited at night. A visit to Mr. Bigliano's rabbits. Bugs and Beetles, which was a junk shop, later to be world famous Joe's Variety. Bottle Park. Skimmerhorn's Fish Market, where you could meet every cat that's on the hill on a Friday afternoon. Jimmy Spa. And Mrs. Darris's Blackberry Patch, again, usually at night. They encouraged us to lash up with cultural people, very colorful people. I'm sure you all remember Kitty Boy Wells with his bootsy bike, Stewie Eichel, Booker T. Washington Johnson Jr., Wimpy Lynch, Muck McGovern, Butchie Niagara, the singing cowboy, Paul Veneri, Boogie Bentley, Charlie Boy Roy, Carl Sawaki, who my dad insisted on calling Iggy all his natural-born life, Yamo Welch. You know, at one time, all of these kids were at our house, and my mother would always graciously ask them to stay for dinner, but they never would. It finally dawned on me. You guessed it, stew. Some of the accomplishments of my family. Raising a family of 7, that's 9 people, usually a dog, in a 3-bedroom house with one bathroom. My mother's entry into the Guinness Book of Records, that was a great favor. She was awarded that record for descending and ascending basement stairs with a full laundry basket, the most times of anybody in a lifetime. Of course, that was down cellar, not basement stairs. My dad for being the pioneer of child psychology. If we got in trouble, he wouldn't spank us. He'd talk to us. For God's sakes, beat me, don't talk to me. I think the threat of those talks did more to keep us on the straight and narrow than anything. And my mother for accompanying Nani on evening walks to Dave's drugstore to get a newspaper and a pint of scotch for Nani. You're not going to get any. So Rita, Dad, Mom, you saw the world turn over many times in the last 50 years. I just want to say, I don't know how you made it without us. Mark, my brother Mark, Mo there, girl.
As usual, my brothers are a hard act to follow. And as Dick mentioned in the beginning, we're sort of going chronologically, and I have the modern era. And, you know, I talked about it a lot with my sisters Janice and Linda, because they sort of represent the modern era with me, and we realized we didn't have as many funny anecdotes because the house had been built and everything else. And I also realized another reason we didn't have a lot of funny anecdotes with my parents is because by that time, they were pros. And they had 6 assistant managers working for them to raise me. So my parents, consequently, I get along with them great, but my brothers and sisters are the ones who hassled me my whole life. So my memories of hassles have nothing to do with my parents. But like Mike was saying too, I wanted to put in one little interesting anecdote is to give you a feel for how cultural 86 Lawrence Street was. One of the cultural points that I find is interesting looking back is we grew up with just tons of Irish music and Polish polkas, and my brothers would come in from different places. Of course, by the time I was growing up, one of my brothers might be coming in from Europe or St. Louis, and Dick would be coming in from some foreign port with a strange-sounding name. And it's funny, on one of Dick's trips in, he brought in some native New Zealand Maori chants, and Sam has it queued up just to give you a feel for what it sounds like. My father and mother thought this was great. You know, this is really interesting. It's great stuff. And of course, my sister Linda made an interesting point to my dad at the time. Linda was about 18 or 19, and she was into the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and all that. And she said, "Dad, level with me. If I brought this album home, what would you think of it?" He admitted it had a little bit more credibility because it was Dick. But actually, like Dick was saying, we had planned to open it up a little too to some people who had some anecdotes, and talking with a couple of people at the church. I know Ida, we said to Ida, "Gee, Ida, we'd like to have people tell some," and we couldn't even get the question out. She said, I have one. So Ida, where are you at?
Well, for one, this is before Rita and Betty got married. And it seems every Sunday we would wait. Listen, Betty. We would wait 3, 4 hours for you to keep a date. And Rita would say, "I'm never doing this again." Next Sunday came, and it was 6 hours. She'd wait for a date. But when Rita and I were both pregnant, Rita with Cheryl, myself with Pat, we went to the store, and on our way home, we were going through the fields near Wynn's, Nottingham Street down to Griffith, and there was a man drunk in the field. And we got so scared that the two of us started to run, and believe me, we never stopped until we got back on Walnut Street. Then another time there was a fire, and the two of us, at the same way, trying to put the fire out. Then, several times I go over to Rita's, and Mike would be sitting down on the last step, and he would try to eat all the ashes that came out of the furnace. Mike, I don't know what you were lacking, but you looked damn good.
Thanks, Zach. The eldest grandchild, Jim Riley, also has a particular anecdote he remembers about Grandpa when he was a little younger. Jim?
This is something that happened when I was really young, but I was remembered. It was right before Easter one year. We were at my grandmother's, and she was worried because she sent my grandfather out to the falls, provision to buy some kielbasa about an hour before. He showed up a few hours later, a big smile on his face, a particular smell on his breath. You could tell that he made a few other stops before. And he said hello to all of us, and then the first thing out of his mouth was, "You wouldn't believe the line at the falls provision."
Sam is going to help us out with this one, because it's something Sam wanted to do special for you. Sam?